What's going on, guys? Today we got another video for you guys. Today we're going to be reacting to was there an advanced civilization before us? So hey, let's get straight into it.
Was there an advanced civilization before us? Millions believe one existed during the last ice age, and that a cataclysm erased every trace. But I spent weeks going through the actual peer-reviewed evidence to find out the truth.
There was definitely not an advanced, like we're getting advanced every single day, and we're the most advanced we ever been right now. There was never advanced civilization before us. At least I don't think, because even if they were, even if there was one, just think in your mind, like, why would like 90% of it we have dinosaurs fossils? How wouldn't we know that?
Let's find out how long it takes to erase a civilization. For decades, the academic consensus was straightforward. Human culture slowly evolved in complexity, inventing agriculture, then civilization, only around 5,000 years ago. But then something strange emerged from the archaeological record. Agriculture didn't develop in one place and spread from there. It was independently invented in 6 separate regions, all after the Ice Age ended. That's a remarkable coincidence. Author Grant Hancock has an explanation. 12,000 years ago, there was an advanced civilization that was wiped out by the catastrophic
12,000 years ago. Oh no, yeah. It feels like a million years ago there was a chance. 12,000, there was no way.
end of the last ice age. Survivors scattered across the world and seeded new cultures.
Like, don't you think why is in one culture, like for example, if you go to one place, like if you go to Africa and Nigeria, they're all like the same skin color. If you go to another place like an Arab country, they're all the same skin color, like 90% of them, and not even more. So wouldn't it be mixed and match? Like, I don't get it. Unless there was like crazy sections back then, like where whites were whites and everything.
Which is why civilizations seem to appear everywhere at once. And honestly, the idea isn't crazy on its face. We know
It's crazy as fuck.
that the end of the last ice age was brutal. Temperatures swung violently during the Younger Dryas, and when it ended, sea levels rose by hundreds of feet, swallowing coastlines whole. So when skeptics ask, where's the evidence? Hancock and his supporters have an answer ready. The Earth ate it. The rising sea levels covered up coastal settlements.
But if the Earth ate it, wouldn't it eat fossil stones? Or did the Earth eat it? This is a good theory. If the Earth if the Earth ate it, and it also ate so much fossil stones, and we're getting like 10% of the fossil stones that were alive, and everything else, the Earth ate it.
While comet
That's a good
impacts caused
theory.
global destruction. Villages were abandoned, while advanced technology slowly corroded into dust. Randall Carlson, another prominent proponent, said that if a cataclysm happened to our society, after 10,000 years, only Mount Rushmore and the pyramids would be left. And if that's true for us, there would be nothing left of a civilization that thrived all the way back during the Ice Age. But would everything in our society really turn to dust in only 10,000 years? Luckily for us, a random 1980 study from
Do you think if there somehow was an advanced civilization, do you guys think that they were more advanced than us? There was no way.
the US Department of Energy answered just that.
Like right now, I got fucking a mic. I'm talking to you guys through a camera. You guys can see me through a camera, and I'm talking to you guys through a mic. Somebody could watch us from the other side of the world. There's no way they're more advanced than us, at least.
They set out to find the best materials to make nuclear waste containers that would last for thousands of years. And the results are catastrophic for Carlson's argument. First, let's look at steel, a material that corrodes quickly. Steel corrodes at a maximum of 4.8 inches every 10,000 years, meaning that a steel axe would almost certainly turn to dust in way less than 10,000 years.
Am
But
I
larger
tripping?
objects such as a solid anvil
fuck
or
just
engine
happened?
block might still be around. And remember, 4 inches is the maximum corrosion rate. The minimum rate is only 0.73 inches after 10,000 years. So an anvil or an engine block would likely survive, especially if buried. Everyone knows that steel corrodes quickly, but what about copper? At a maximum, copper corrodes 0.54 inches every 10,000 years, meaning that if this copper axe blade sat exposed for 10,000 years, this is what it would look like. But if it was buried, it would take 29,000 years to corrode
Damn.
just half an inch. And this is
That's an
confirmed by
inch?
the archaeological record. Copper artifacts have been found dating back to well over 8,500 years ago, many still in great condition. If an advanced civilization with metal technology existed at the end of the last ice age, we would without a doubt find evidence. But we don't. What about gold? How would this gold coin look in 10,000 or 100,000 years? Well, just like this. Pure gold does not corrode whatsoever. If this supposed civilization ever made a gold ring, coin, or bar, we would be able to find one. But the oldest gold artifacts are only about 6,000 years old. But what if this civilization had existed way before us, like 300,000 or over 1,000,000 years ago?
See, there I could see that happening.
We actually have millions of artifacts from this time period. Archaeologists have found stone tools dating back well over 3 million years ago. There are literal fields of ancient hand axes made by other human species in Africa that are still sharp. This very hand axe was actually collected by a friend of mine in South Africa. In all likelihood, it is the handiwork of another human species. It's really insane when you think about it. Stone tools last virtually forever, and so does glass. If a civilization ever made a glass cup or a window, we could find evidence. But ceramics are a different story. Believe it or not, there is evidence of ceramics dating back to 30,000 years ago. At the site of Dolní Věstonice in Czechia, archaeologists have discovered small ceramic figurines that were superheated in furnaces. They are associated with the Gravettian culture, a people that made stone tools, lived in temporary huts, and hunted megafauna.
Do you guys think there was other species like us, like humans, that didn't evolve like us? I don't believe in that. I think we were the only ones, and like there was stuff like monkeys that looked like us. I don't think
And
we
if some
evolved
random
from a monkey.
figurines made by Stone Age hunters can survive 30,000 years, so could evidence of an advanced civilization. But that's just not the case. Ceramic technology was never used for anything useful by the Gravettians, and they eventually abandoned the practice. It would take thousands of years for humans to rediscover ceramics first in China and gradually throughout the rest of the world. And none of this evidence suggests the existence of a civilization. What's more is that Randall's argument completely falls apart when we look at other forms of evidence. We have dozens of entire perfectly preserved Ice Age animals that have remained frozen for over 30,000 years.
Yo,
These spears right here have survived 300,000 years in a German lake bed
is that actually real? 300,000 years with a spear?
because they were in a low oxygen environment.
Oh,
The Earth ate it argument collapses under scrutiny, and honestly it is the main reason I don't believe the ancient civilization narrative. I have personally found copper artifacts dating back over 5,000 years from the old copper culture of North America. Furthermore, the lead pollution from the old copper culture is detectable in lake sediment cores, and elsewhere where ice cores have proven that there is no evidence of metallurgy during the last glacial period. If there was a lost civilization, it wasn't using metal or creating anything on par with even Bronze Age societies. We would find not only their gold, copper, ceramics, but also the stone for their houses. Civilizations are inherently messy. They have trash heaps, abandoned buildings, graves, roads, and we can't point to any of that before the Ice Age. But what about Göbekli Tepe? At 12,000 years old, surely it is proof of a civilization in the Ice Age. It is a legitimately massive complex full of giant stone slabs and symbolism. The culture that made this had to organize large workforces, and clearly they were culturally complex. But does this really count as a civilization? A civilization is defined as a human society with urban settlements, division of labor, centralized government, surplus food, and some kind of record-keeping or writing system.
when did language get made? Because I don't know when language got made. What were they saying, like, 100,000 years ago? They were just mumming to each other, like sign language, and they understand what they were saying?
Based on this criteria, archaeologists generally don't consider Göbekli Tepe a civilization, but rather a pre-agricultural monumental complex. No evidence of agriculture has been found at the site, nor has pottery or writing been found. Evidence suggests that it was not an urban settlement, but rather a gathering place made by hunter-gatherers. But to truly understand the site, we need to understand where it came from. Göbekli Tepe is not the only structure of its kind. Thousands of years before Göbekli Tepe, the Natufian culture first started making permanent stone structures in the region. They hunted gazelle and harvested mass quantities of wild grains which they ground into bread. These grains were harvested in abundance and even stored for lean times. This allowed them to spend more time working on their structures and technology. They started making communal structures, and gradually, larger and larger stones were quarried and carved with complex symbols. Eventually, after 3,000 years of development, 6 times longer than the Roman Empire, these skills culminated into larger structures like Karahan Tepe and Göbekli Tepe.
How advanced do you guys think we're gonna be in 100 years? You think we'll have flying cars by then, bro? We were supposed to have flying cars by 20, like literally by this year we're supposed to have flying cars. And like 2050, people are saying, oh, we're gonna have flying cars in like 2020, 2025, 2030. We're not even close.
Göbekli Tepe didn't appear out of nowhere,
We're not even close to the advance we thought we were gonna be.
and we know
thought
a
we were
ton
gonna be
about
like
the people
Marvel
who made it.
advanced.
But what about other ancient structures that may predate Göbekli Tepe by thousands of years? Many often point to the Eye of the Sahara, a 25-mile-wide megastructure in the middle of nowhere. It is known as the Reshat structure, and it is often
is
claimed to
that?
be proof of the lost city of Atlantis. The concentric rings certainly make it look like Plato's description. But again, what does the evidence
The city of Atlantis is like people actually believe.
known as the Reshat structure, and it is often claimed to be proof of the lost city of Atlantis. The concentric rings certainly make it look like Plato's description. But again, what does the evidence say? In the 1950s, it was initially hypothesized to have been an impact crater from a meteor. But more recent studies in the early 2000s found that it was a deeply eroded underground magmatic intrusion. At approximately 100 million years old, it formed during the age of the dinosaurs. But since then, humans have
People actually believe in the city of Atlantis.
indeed
Whatever.
frequented this structure for over 1 million years. The outer ring actually has deposits of quartzite, a hard and sharp material great for making stone tools. Hundreds of ancient hand axes from species like Homo erectus have been found. Later, our own species moved in and around the structure and lived there for thousands.
Photo? What the fuck? Hold up.
Like Homo erectus have been found. Later, our
Is that a real photo?
own species moved in and around the structure and lived there for thousands of years, especially during the African humid period when the region was lush. They left behind stone tools, burials, and fossils that have been radiocarbon dated to 10 to 15,000 years ago in the structure. The only evidence of permanent buildings are small and are still used to this day by nomadic groups which live in and around the structure. The Reshat structure holds an unbroken record of human activity spanning over 1 million years. Not one moment of it looks like a civilization. If it was once a city the size of Paris, surely there would be some compelling evidence to discuss.
There
The
definitely would.
Earth-aided argument is not going to cut it. But we still haven't answered the question. Why did humans suddenly start to farm in about 6 independent centers all around 10,000 years ago? It is a legitimately interesting question. Looking at the map of where these cultures appears make it seem like Graham may actually have a point. But the answer is simpler
There's
than you
always
might
a
think.
chance.
Look at this graph. During the last glacial period, the climate was all over the place. The only thing constant was cold temperatures. But when this period ended roughly 12,000 years ago, the Earth suddenly warmed. And more importantly, the climate stabilized. This made the environment much more predictable. Humans
When's the
could
next
finally
ice age
rely on
gonna
certain
happen?
plants in certain locations year after year. This led to increased cultivation, dedicated crop fields, and eventually
Yo, is there gonna be an? But I feel like if there's another ice age, we're so advanced. I think we could like do something where we could survive.
the plants themselves became domesticated, becoming easier to plant and producing more calories. The reason that this transition occurred in 6 different centers is because the entire world became warmer and more predictable. Human progress has exploded ever since. I'm not convinced that there is evidence for a lost civilization. If you are, tell me in the comment section and I'll look into it. As of now, the evidence supports that humans were able to figure out agriculture all around the world independently. Just like chimps didn't need anyone to teach them how to use stone tools over 4,300 years ago, and some have even started flint knapping. So are chimps entering their own stone age?
I don't think they have entered the Stone Age. They're getting there. I don't think they're gonna evolve. Like they have higher IQ than most animals. That's why they know how to do the like with stones and shit. That's the only. I don't think they're gonna evolve any more than what they are. Maybe a little bit. But yeah, that's gonna be the video, guys. And I'm gonna see y'all in another one. Peace.